Welcome to the Offsite Dirt Network. We're here to create trust, connection, and collaboration across the offsite construction industry, bringing together leaders, builders, and innovators shaping what's next. Through real stories, expert insights, and lived experiences, we're building a more connected future together. Wellness, health, healthcare, rehabilitation. We're talking about centers that actually help individuals grow and live a fruitful life. And this industry is not only growing, but it's also crossing over into prefab and offsite construction. Today, I am joined with Thomas Boyle, and he's going to give us a little bit more information about Encompass Healthcare.
Hey there.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
Well, we got all of that out there, so at least that's done. But thank you so much for being here. It is a true pleasure to understand the industry. I'd love for you to just give us an overview of the industry as a whole, as you kind of explained it earlier.
Sure. So the company that I work for and represent is Encompass Health Corporation, and we're based out of Birmingham, Alabama. We're the nation's largest rehabilitation hospital provider. And what that means is that we are a post-acute or post-main hospital center where people go to basically get back to somewhat of a normal function in their life. And typically this comes from having either a serious accident where you may have a traumatic brain injury, or you may have had like severe broken bones, like, hip, knee. And then really for our older population, older 65, which is the fastest growing cohort in, I'll say kind of in healthcare in America, that population group from 65 to 85, and the services are underrepresented. And right now there's only about 13% that are being actually served in America today. So that means if you do the quick math, it's about 87% market share out there. And one of the things that our company wanted to do, and actually this strategy started several years ago, was to figure out, hey, how can we get more hospitals into different markets across the U.S. And of course, you've got the whole Sun Belt and the retirement centers of Florida and kind of Texas, is what we think of as the main centers where people are retiring, but actually come to find out, quite a number of people, they're staying, where they are actually living.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you look at COVID, right? It kind of taught us a lot of things. People are staying in their homes longer.
That's right.
And to see that there is this massive opportunity for your company. And I really think people are living longer. My husband alone had 2 hip replacements. He's not old, right? He just wants more movement. He wants to be able to do things where he can live a healthier lifestyle. Now, talking about, we know that there's this huge segment. We know that we're talking about rehabilitation centers and the need for it. In particular, we're here at Advancing Prefab. So are you guys utilizing these kind of practices in your builds?
Yeah, that's a great question. So in I'll say kind of my prior work experience, we did a lot in prefabrication, and it was healthcare. And in some sense, I don't know that we were the pioneers of it, but we, quickly saw where, hey, we could adapt some of these structures into our builds to honestly to standardize a lot of what was being built. You think of a patient room, it's got a light, it's got a head wall, it's got a bed, and why does it need to be basically redesigned several hundreds of different ways? And so anyways, taking that same approach on rehabilitation care, it's the same patient room. It's the same ADA handicap bathroom. And so we kind of quickly devised a scheme to say, all right, look, all the bathrooms, all the head walls, they're all the same. And then the whole speed to market comes in.
Yeah.
So, hey, how can we deploy these hospitals faster? It's really about the certainty of the schedule. And so then we really started incorporating the exterior walls, so that then the trades could come in and actually start building faster. And so really it's been I'll say kind of a linchpin to our overall strategy and deployment and the certainty, because we're trying to build anywhere from 6 to 10 of these a year. And we're hiring up to 150 people per hospital that are brand new each and every time. And so, there's a huge, crunch at the very end when we're finishing, where that hospital better be done and complete so that 150 people can come in and start serving the local community.
I love that. Thomas, tell us a little bit about your background and how you came up to this company.
Sure. So this is actually my 30th year in the design and construction industry. I started off working as a steel fabricator and mainly doing industrial buildings, and kind of learned the inner workings of structure. And then I managed to work for a major general contractor here in America for around 6 years. And then one of our clients happened to be a healthcare client. I went to work for them as an owner's rep. And that's where I really kind of started understanding the actual business of healthcare. And then, kind of dovetail that in with the construction to figure out, hey, how can we streamline processes to where you're eliminating waste? And then at the time, we weren't even doing prefab. It was really just about how quickly could you deploy that asset? And then we started getting into prefab, and kind of the rest is history.
You know what? I love that you've been in the industry for 30 years because with your experience and seeing how it's evolved and knowing that this is a solution that can help also impact the community on such a great level. And we need more of it, right? We're noticing that we need more and we need to start taking care of our people.
That's right.
So what do you find with your business alone? I know that you're in this amazing market center. Where do you see it evolving? Do you feel like it's going to be more, obviously we need to have more centers. We know we need more of those. But do you feel like it's just creating more assemblies or standardization where it's your system, like it's there, it's ready to go?
Yeah. So, I mean, several different fronts.
Yeah.
If you look at the basic, I'll say kind of life systems, which are air and water.
Yeah. Yeah. The basic
Yeah,
needs.
the basic needs, the delivery of that, we try to reinvent it all the time. And so, what the industry is attempting to do is to try to pull that together to where, let's say it's a hospital that's 100,000 square feet or one that's 40,000 square feet. Can you size it properly? Can it scale properly to where, again, you're not reinventing the wheel every single time? And so I think what we're going to start to see is the more of that kit of parts, which is something that's been, I'm not the first to say it, but it's been mentioned several times. Our little opening, monologue, with Amy,
Yeah.
she talked about it, on the data center front. It's the same thing on healthcare, same thing in hospitality. We've seen it in hospitality, with basically, like the Hiltons and Marriott's.
Yeah, everybody's standardizing. They're like, we've got productivity, we've got opportunity. And we were even talking about there's just not a lot of places to be building anymore, right?
Yeah,
So where
that's
do you
right.
do then?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think like you attach on to buildings? Is that the next evolution? Do you take older buildings and remodel them?
Well,
Where do you think it's going to go?
I think it's a mix of a lot of different things because you still have the population that's shifting. And that's going to be constantly kind of going influx into cities and outflux into cities. So you're going to have those main primary hospitals and then have a lot of these tertiary centers. And the thing that, of course, people have seen more and more is these freestanding EDs. That's right around the corner from your neighborhood.
Yes.
Same kind of thing for rehabilitation services. You've seen it in sort of drug and alcohol rehab centers. Same kind of thing in those different environments. And it's a thing where there's not one size that's going to fit all.
No.
I mean, if you take like a city like New York, everyone knows like, hey, that's millions of people that are there. You can't have this big urban sprawl. It has to go vertical.
Absolutely.
And so as the cities grow, so grows the healthcare. And now the one thing that we have been trying to do again is future proof. And it's like, how much can you future proof?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I love that you're already thinking about that and you're already making your plan out there. It's interesting. It seems like Alabama's like the hub for hospital care. Is that true? Because you're the second person that we've met that is talking about rehabilitation, talking about hospitals. Is that a mega for it?
I think Nashville claims that. What we can claim is the number of healthcare contractors are based in Birmingham, Alabama.
Because we met a wonderful general contractor before you.
Yeah, that's right.
And it was interesting because we're in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
And even in Georgia, for us, there's a lot of integration of prefab and a lot of modular construction that is now taking place. It's taken some time to get there.
Yeah.
So I love that the South is really kind of opening up that area, right? And it seems as though I used to live in Denver, Colorado, and a lot of people from California were moving into Colorado. But now I feel like a lot of people are moving to the South and the South Belt.
Yes.
Are you seeing that same thing in your industry?
Oh yeah, we're definitely seeing it. And we're also
People want to be in warmer weather.
you've got that, And you've also got the cost of living,
Yes.
it is definitely a pickup. And then, if you come to undeveloped land, actually the Southeast, there's quite a bit of it. And so there's no, it's not a mystery why data centers are moving, down there, why you have, this migration of technology companies, that are relocating to the South, whether that's Atlanta or Nashville. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's starting to become more of a hub.
So I love to know one last thing. We were kind of talking, and Amy brought it up as well about the top down, and she was talking about culture, and she was talking about companies, so the solutions and picking those right partners and stuff. How's it been for your company? How do you feel about your culture and the company in general? For you to be at all these different companies and be at this last one for the last 6 years,
Yeah.
how do you fit in, and how is that company culture there?
Yeah, the company culture is great, and the thing that really helps is there's a total alignment on our business, which is rehabilitation care. Makes it a little easy, whereas if you're a hospital, you're split up between, hey, I want to do oncology, I want to do women's, I want to do, general surgery. We just do rehab care. That makes it good. But the thing that I would say that even makes us great is the fact that it's always about a continuous improvement, like even on the clinical side, and that gives us basically the motivation on the design and construction side to figure out, hey, how can we tweak this a little bit more? And we're always doing that, whether it's a design feature, whether it's how we're sequencing and building the building, who it is that we're working with, we're always trying to tweak it to make it that much better because ultimately we're trying to serve our communities.
And that's what it's about. That the end result, it's about the people,
That's right.
right? Well, what an enjoyable conversation. Thank you so much for enlightening us. I had no idea about this industry. I've been so involved in multifamily, single family, and in the commercial side of things, even restaurants. But to know that your company has not only realized that this is the way to kind of move the industry forward and your company, but also to do it in such an effective way about taking care of the people at the end result.
Yeah. Glad to talk to you as well. Thanks for the time.
And that's the dirt on Offsite Dirt. Thank you for being a part of Offsite Dirt Network. If you believe in building with trust, connection, and collaboration, you're in the right place. Explore more stories, insights, and expert voices at offsitedirtnetwork.com and stay connected to what's next in offsite construction.